Another day in Baldur's Gate, another murder. But this one, it's not often we see a murder on the right side of the tracks. The deceased is one Lord Rogers of Quarry Bank, a wealthy recluse resident of the Garden District, but not seen in public for some 20 years. He was found stabbed in the back with a dagger with surgical precision. He was betrayed in his own home in the presence of 4 witnesses. I'll brief you on the suspects shortly, but first, we know there were others on the premises as well at the time of the murder. Their presence is highly suspicious, but they've not yet been implicated in the case. First, we've got Ansi Renaud. Sweet as a peach, twice as handsome. He's a small-time thief with extensive combat experience, known to take odd jobs. He's been identified as the leader of this crew, but refuses to provide the name of the handler who enlisted him on this job to the tune of some 40,000. Big payday for the Georgia Peach. He says he received an invitation to the home by the deceased himself, but noted that he had never actually met the old-timer. Fishy though it may be, my partner was able to confirm a note on the door granting entry to Mr. Renaud and his associates. Then we have Boyd Johnflower, for some reason known by his associates as Todd. He's unfamiliar to our precinct, but he says he's a small-town sports hero. Not the brightest of the bunch, and I suspect numerous TBIs. But he appears to be something of a rolling stone and has managed to stay out of trouble thus far. Next we have Charity Ann. Her record's squeaky clean. She's known to the public for her piety. Torn. But it turns out, if you ask around the right parts of town, they tell a different story. Down in the underbelly, they call her the Rat Killer. She's got quite a reputation for extreme violence and murder. Next we have Lorwick, one of the unhoused folks who tends to stay off our radar, primarily appears to keep company with the non-human. We got no violations on his permanent record, but he's not the type to stay in town or within the city walls. At the current time, he poses a significant flight risk. Next, we've got the Scrocious Bungle Skunk, one of our frequent flyers. Common Slime. He's kind of like Karl Marx if he played the hammered dulcimer and microdosed unicorn mushrooms up his ass. Picked up for indecency in every precinct from here to the High Forest, but charges never stick. Importantly, this crew has 2 more known associates. The first associate of which is the one Torbjorn Trollvik, a homebody, a little bookish. At the time of the murder, he was spotted with his nose buried several miles away at Candle Keep. His alibi checks out. This leaves us with our final member of the crew, one Arcaneus. Quite conspicuously, he was nowhere to be found. Arcaneus has a rap sheet about a mile long from his time in Hell's Kitchen. He's known to have major debts to very powerful entities, making him remarkably dangerous. But his current location remains to be seen, so to speak. So, here's what we know about the murder of Lord Rogers. He perished in the ballroom of his own home, in the presence of 4 others. His wife, Lady Rogers, hysterical, confused, and with decades more life experience than the layers of her makeup might suggest. Then we have the captain of the city watch. This murder occurred under the watch of Colonel Dijon. Seems he's been spread a little too thin. Next, we've got Professor Norma Bates. Not much is known about this broad beyond the psychotic look to her. She was seen wearing a large, ornate necklace with unique markings that associated with the fortune of the Brantifax family estate. She claims this necklace was given to her by the deceased, and upon questioning, maintains that their relationship was strictly platonic. Last, we have one Jonathan Torrance, street name J-Rock. While this man claims to be the dearest friend of the deceased, he's been known by witnesses and local beat cops to frequent the less savory parts of town. Unsurprisingly then, he was found in possession of a matchbook from the Hide and Go Squeak, a squeakeasy operated by the late Johnny B. Gouda. May he rest in pieces. Upon arrival, these 4 suspects were found with entanglement cast upon them in the ballroom, allowing us to inspect the other rooms while they were bound by the vines. Large barbarian footprints led us from the ballroom here to the library. As you can see, nice place. There were some peculiar findings upon inspection, including the complete works of Agatha Christie, as well as various volumes and ledgers that possibly indicate that the Rogers were engaged in lewd perversions and potentially involved in numerous sexually deviant communities. However, once more, it's neither here nor there. There were 3 volumes of peculiar interest that appeared to be recently handled. These were scientific texts that include Physician's Encyclopedia of Arteries and Skin, a Practitioner's Guide to Interspecies Taxidermy, and a Botanist's Compendium of Plants of the Forgotten Realms. This last volume included dog-eared pages and hand-scribbled annotations around some very specific and rare herbs. Which therefore brings to mind then our old friend Scrotius Bungle Skunk. On this night, witness reports suggest that he was in possession of a sampling of the very herbs in question, though claiming, of course, that he merely pilfered them from the coat closet back in the foyer. Nothing I haven't heard 100 times already at the local speakeasies. Of course, footsteps led us next from here to the billiards room. And here we are. A place formerly for tranquility, rest, and respite appeared tonight to be a place of conflict. The feathered fletching of an arrow, a single strand of long hair, and copious pools of rat's blood. Unless mine eyes do deceive me, it's safe to say that these 4 walls bore witness as 2 rats had a fateful confrontation with Charity Ann, famed rat killer of the East, and one Auntie Reynard, famed rat killer of the American South. Poor rat bastards never stood a chance. And that leads us further to our old friend Lorik once more. Again, already a known flight risk. Indeed, witnesses corroborate that he was seen fleeing the conflict prematurely, scurrying eagerly into the next room, bringing into question both his motives and his allegiances. And this is where our mystery leaves us, case yet uncracked. You know what they say about this place. Same balderdash, different gate.